record on this computer. All right, we're recording. Welcome, guys. Great to see everybody. There's some new faces that I haven't met yet, so good to see you guys. I'm Natalie Bailey, if you guys don't know me. Let me go with the wrong notebook. All right, so guys, we're going to hop right in because I've got some good info for you tonight. Hopefully this isn't too repetitive. It's stuff you can take something away from it, whether it's for you or for your coaches or whatever it may be. But tonight I just really wanted to talk. I'm so sore. Sorry. I really wanted to talk about just kind of the mindset it takes in this business. And if you guys can really just wrap your head around this with me, how we can duplicate that and create more success within our own teams, right? Because it's not fun to be the only one that's doing well in your business. You want to help other people do really well too. So if we can create that duplication and everybody success, then that's exactly our mission here, is not only to help people see physically, emotionally, mentally, but it's also to see financially and to grow in leadership and entrepreneurship. So that's a big topic for tonight. Quick announcement, a couple things. We have our coach mentorship starting tomorrow. So if there's, I've got some back. Okay. So if there are, muting some audio. If there are new coaches, brand new coaches, or coaches that just really want to get back to the basics, it starts tomorrow. So get your applications in so that you can be accepted into the group, and we can kick off with you tomorrow because a lot of great information in there. There's a couple elite coaches, a couple diamond coaches, a couple star diamond coaches, and we're really just leading the way with information that we feel is going to really help you launch and create momentum in your business. So great group. Make sure that you encourage, oh, Tracy, you made it. Good. Make sure that you encourage your teams to get in on those trainings as well. Second thing, guys, is our national wake-up call. So I say this every week, but if you don't know about these calls, they're every Monday morning at 11 a.m. You dial in, right? You listen. It's a corporate call. You can catch the replay if you're at work and it's not something you can catch live, but it's something that you should make a non-negotiable in your business. I've been a coach for over 3 years, and I still make sure to listen. If I can't catch the replay live, I make sure to listen to the replay because there's such valuable information. They're bringing the top leaders in the business on a call for us to just give us value, give us information to help us grow and learn. There's always something you can take away from it no matter what. So not too many announcements today, which is crazy because you guys know I'm usually full of them. But I definitely want to dive into our topic tonight, and I kind of have my thoughts everywhere, typical me, right? So what mindset does it take to grow success, to create duplication, to really develop the leadership qualities that we need to be successful in this business? So there's 4 things I'm going to talk about today, 3 of which you are very familiar with that I talk about all the time. 1 being self-motivation, 2 being vision, 3 being why, and 4 being awareness. I'm going to go into some things and give you guys some insight into self-motivation, into vision, into why, just kind of touch on that. And then the awareness part, the closing part of this call, I'm really going to give you some perspective and some tips, I guess, that you could take with you to take to your business, to duplicate into your business and your organization. So first things first, guys, is self-motivation. And that's pretty self-explanatory. This business is so hard because nobody is slapping your hand telling you to get to work, right? You don't have a boss to check into. This is 100% on you. You show up if you want to. You don't show up if you want to. And your business is a reflection of your work ethic, period, right? So if you're sitting here and your business isn't going anywhere, or you're not feeling successful in your business, or you're not hitting Success Club, or you're not rank advancing to Emerald, Ruby, Diamond, Star Diamond, then that is a reflection of your work ethic. And what I want to say with that is, do you want to know something crazy? And something crazy is that the majority of people, they know what to do, right? A majority of people know what to do with this business. There's so many people that show up. They show up to these team calls, right? We have so many people that come to these team calls every week. They come to training calls. They go through trainings. They read personal development. They share on social media. They show up on calls. They take notes. They act like a student. So why aren't they being successful? It's because they're not doing the things that are going to grow their organization. They're showing up. But guess what, guys? Showing up isn't enough. You have to take action in your business to see results in your business. And that might seem simple, but it's also a wake-up call, because there's days and weeks, guys, even months, where I look back and I look at my performance for that month and I realize I was such a student that month. I did great at learning. I did great at taking notes. I showed up every day. I felt very productive, but then there was no action to actually achieve that goal. So action, guys, meaning sending those private messages, connecting with people every single day in some way, shape, or form, whether you like their outfit or you're talking to them about health and fitness, or you're talking to them about anything, right? Connecting, interacting with people on their posts, on your posts. I am so bad at this, and this is like the biggest social media no-no that you could ever do. If you guys have posts where people are engaging and you're not going back and commenting and engaging with those people that are interacting on your posts, go back and do that. Go back and create conversations with those people and really start to connect with your following and with the people that are engaging with you. Guys, another super important thing. Another super important thing is staying consistent with your own journey. That's just as important. That's an action step, right, that a lot of people neglect. So make sure that you're staying consistent with your journey, writing down your weekly goals that excite you. Mac and I live in the same city, so I always use example from our conversations because we're together all the time, and we talk about business all the time because we're both obsessed with this. But one thing that we were just talking about a couple of days ago was, and maybe you can say it better than I can, but basically saying like, I'm dreading this. I really want to get up early and work out. I really want to start my day early, but I'm just dreading it. It just doesn't sound good. Who wants to get up this early and do this and get this out of the way and just really start their morning? But she said, in addition to saying that, she also said, man, that was one of the best days that I had was when I got up super early. I was so productive in my business. Like I took a shower, I went shopping. Like it was so leisurely because I started my day so early and I was so productive. So that she remembered that feeling. Like she felt super good about that. But when she was thinking about doing it again, she was dreading it because she was dreading getting up at that hour again that she got up the first time. So instead, and it was kind of like a wake up call for both of us, instead of like looking at it as a negative, like looking at it as, man, I have to do this. Look at it as like, I want to do this so I can feel the way that I felt on that day. Like, man, I had a really awesome day that day. I remember feeling so productive. I can't wait to feel that way again. So let that be your motivation for doing the thing that you don't want to do. In our case, it's waking up super early. So that's just an example there. So next point, guys, is vision. And most common question I get is, Natalie, how do you find people? Natalie, how do you stay motivated? Natalie, how do you show up when things are like really, really hard, like personally, like in your life? Like, how do you just still show up and be, happy? Because I feel like you have to be happy in this business all the time. And, how do you not doubt yourself? And there's two things, guys. There's two things. Number one is personal development. And we all know this. If you are a true product of personal development and you've been for quite some time, you cannot tell me that it hasn't impacted you in some way, shape, or form. Because everybody here that has finally listened to their coach when their coach said, invest in reading personal development and let that be a part of your growth journey, because your business is only going to grow as much as you do. You will start reading personal development. You will start really taking it seriously. You will start really applying, because, right, it's not enough to just take in and soak in the information. You have to go out and then apply that to your life. So personal development is really huge. Secondly is my vision. Okay, so my vision mostly is what keeps me motivated. My vision is what keeps me showing up when it's just been a hell of a day. My vision is truly my purpose for being here, for knowing, like looking at every single one of you, that you guys can have your own visions and know that you can make your dreams come true too. So I wanted to share that with you guys or share with you kind of like my vision, just to give you an idea of like how in depth I feel I went with this. So I made this Google Doc like 5 days ago. So I literally just wrote my why out on paper 5 days ago, and I'm going to read it to you. So I want you guys to write these questions down too, because I really want you to ask yourself these 4 questions as well. And this is kind of like a challenge that I'm giving you, is like to take some time, when you're feeling just vulnerable and inspired, to just sit down and answer these questions, whatever they mean to you. And then I want you to send them to your upline. And if your upline isn't on this call tonight, just send a message saying, hey, I was on Misfit Legion team call. We were encouraged to answer these questions, and send them to our coach. So I'm going to read these to you, and I really encourage you to do the same. Send them to your coach. All right. So number 1, simple, right? What is your why? And before I read this, I want to tell you guys this. 3 years ago, I was a week into my coaching business, and my coach asked me what my why was. And 3 years ago, instead of typing it, I wrote it on paper, and my why was, I want to lose weight. I want to help one person. I want to be financially free. I think that was it. Oh, and I said I wanted to get to Emerald. So I kind of had business goals and mixed with life goals. 3 years later, this is my why. Okay, so I said, it's crazy to sit here rediscovering my why, because if you would have asked me 3 years ago, it would be to have been financially comfortable and living a debt-free life. Little did I know that hard work would actually create that reality. And as I sit here now, rediscovering this purpose, it's so much deeper. In a book that I'm reading, I'm assigned to peel away the layers and state my real why. As I sit down and type this with my daughter sleeping next to me, I know the reason now. I want to live a life of freedom, using my creativity to inspire masses and create a dynamic that empowers women to live out their dreams. Starting this business out of financial desperation, it's not until you have it that you realize it doesn't bring you full fulfillment. What I want is to continue developing the discipline to create a ridiculous amount of wealth based upon living out my dreams and being successful at them. I want to use that money to travel with my family, retire my husband so he can live freely, pay for my children's college fund, have an amazing retirement, and give back to the ones that I love, in addition to giving to causes near and dear to my heart. I want to work because it selfishly gives me the excitement to know that my work is impacting others' lives in a big way. That's my why. So like, if you can find something, and that means like so much to me. Okay. So if you guys, I don't know if you've ever gotten like that serious about what you want. So maybe your why is like, I want to hit Success Club. That's not a why. Like, what is your deeper purpose that you know that your life, the situation that you're in, it can't currently provide you, but this business allows you to dream? Like, what do you want? So that's the first thing. Number 2, why is it so important to you? I said, it's really not about the finer things in life, but it's about being able to have what we want and not need to feel. It's about, what did I just say? Okay. It's really not about the finer things in life, but it is about being able to have what we want and need to feel strong, secure, and free. My husband and I can picture our future together, a debt-free future. I'm talking mortgage and everything. Discovering the plans of our dream home on an abundance of land in West Virginia. Being able to give my daughter a dream life full of love and provide for her mentally, physically, and emotionally in ways that I longed for growing up. Home to me is really my biggest inspiration. And I put home in capital letters because I think home, I think like house, family, like all of these things. And I said, home to me is really my biggest inspiration, our safety net, a place that we own fully where we can live our lives, come and go as we please, travel the world and explore. A life like this is really something I only used to dream of, but now I live with this excitement because I have the understanding that it can come true if I just put in the work to do it. I want to prove to myself that I can do this for my family. I want to be successful in the areas that I aspire to be, in leadership and public speaking and photography and blogging, and not just wishing for those things. Number 3, if you don't achieve this, what pain will you feel? And I said, I think for me, unfulfillment in living an ordinary life is my biggest fear. I know what's out there and I know what I'm capable of, and I refuse to not live that extraordinary life. I don't want the finer things for show. I want the finer things as a representation of what I worked for and to be able to fill my biggest love language, giving. Without achieving this, I'll never be the person that I see myself becoming, and that cannot happen. And last but not least, look ahead 5 years into your future. If you don't achieve this, where will you be? And this is not to insult anybody. This is just based upon like what I want in my life. But I said, this makes me sick. Because if I don't achieve the success through this business, I picture myself just being a stay-at-home mom while Mason lives out a career in the Navy, unfulfilled, stressed, and lacking excitement. That sentence alone is enough for me to get my ass moving. I wrote that on paper. That is not who we are or what we want in our life. So going back to number 2, developing your vision, because it led me on day 1 and it's leading me on year 3. And as you grow through this business, guys, it's going to grow and it's going to evolve. Yes, you want to lose weight. You want to have a physical transformation. But if you could have anything in your life, what would it be? What does that vision look like for you and your family? Answer those 4 questions, write them down. Think about it, because that is a whole nother level of coaching and motivation that you will totally never experience if you don't do, that exercise. So, all right, let's keep going. So leadership, right? And where does leadership and awareness come into all of this? Because everything that you guys do, this exercise that you do, getting on these team calls, making your social media posts, everything that you do, you are the leader of your team. You might be a coaching for one day. It doesn't matter, because if you're in this business to create something extraordinary, you are going to have a team. So everything that you do now, and you kind of have to see that vision already before it even happens, you're going to teach somebody someday to do also. So going into leadership mindset, CEO mindset, this is what you have to think. 70% is your business. That's your power hour, your social media posts, your transformation, your mental clarity, your physical health, right? 70% is you and your business. 30% is to your team. I don't know where you guys align in that, but I can tell you for the longest time, I was 60-40. Because I was all team, and I was not filling my cup at all, and it was not growing my business because I was just so focused on helping all my other coaches see success and answer conversations and do all this that I was neglecting myself and I was neglecting my own business. Always, always, always. You might not have a huge business right now. You might be getting in the frame where you have a couple coaches on your team and your team's starting to grow, but eventually it's going to grow. It's going to be hundreds of people in your downline because of the duplication and the ripple effect that you've created from your consistency. So know this now, that 70% of your business always has to be on you. You always have to do you first and fill your cup first before you can give to other people. So the second thing, guys, create systems that work for you and believe in yourself enough to professionalize your business. So what do I mean by that? I know that I give Misfit Legion the resources to do so. So I talk about monthly goals, give you guys monthly calendars. I talk about weekly goals and how to set up weekly, how can I break down my goals for the week to know that I'm getting one step closer to the big goal that I have, right? Welcome emails for your customers, creating those templates so that when you help your first customer, you're able to shoot them an email that gives them I'm so excited that I get to be your coach. I can't wait to help you. Here's the link to join our challenge group or whatever it may be. Creating that template to kind of professionalize yourself and have that system in place. Cleaning up your Facebook, professionalizing your Facebook page, organization and tracking your business, right? Those are all things that are really huge. But I lost my train of thought. Create systems. What's really important about creating systems, again, and doing all this kind of stuff on the front, it's going to feel like a lot of work. You're like, I don't have time to do this. Like, I have a full-time job. I have things that I need to do. But you have to understand that the brunt of the work that you put in, it's just like a one-time thing. So when you're creating all of these documents and things and pulling from your trainings and saving and creating a binder, like all of this stuff that you have is stuff that you just have to do one time. So that when you create your own team, or that when you help a challenger lose 30 pounds and they decided they want to pay it forward and be a coach on your team, they have the resources that they can then use to grow their own business. That's duplication. It's us tracking what we do, us tracking what works for us, and remembering to pay that forward and give that to the people on our team. Okay, so let's see. What else? I get in the mindset of engaging on social media. Okay, yeah. So this is another big one. Get in the mindset of engaging on your social media and then taking everything to the inbox. And I know this is kind of simple, but there are new coaches on here, so I want to say that again. So a lot of times what happens is, say you put up a post about Beachbody, say you're talking about your journey, somebody's really inspired by you, and they comment below and they're like, hey, I'm so curious, like, what are you doing? You don't want to answer them in that moment. You want to get really personal with this person. Take that to the inbox, right? Message them behind the scenes and be like, hey, I saw your message. Like, it's so great to connect. Like, this is what I'm doing. I feel amazing. Like, how have you been? You know what I mean? Create that relationship with them, talk to them, and then maybe they'll ask you questions, or maybe it'll be an opportunity for you to ask them if this is something that they're interested in. But the reason I say take it to the inbox is because it allows you to personalize and really create that relationship. So remember that going into your Facebook. Okay, so another thing that's really, really huge, guys, you need to recognize, and I know that we all have been here, and I was really reflecting today on, like, when I was a new coach, like when I became a Beachbody coach, I didn't know that I had to create a team. I didn't know that. I thought I just got to help people, right? I didn't know that, like, the people that I helped could end up turning into coaches, and then I could help them, like, create all this financial success and freedom and whatever. Like, that's super cool, but I didn't know that. So my point in saying that is, like, recognize how foreign this business is. Like, you have to recognize that people that we help as challengers, they have no idea our business model. They have no idea what we do as coaches. They have no idea the potential behind this. So recognizing how foreign this is, and understanding that people don't know, like, what a team is. They don't know what a challenge group is. They don't know what a challenge pack is. So your wording on social media has to be very simplified and specific. So instead of saying, like, join my challenge group, you can say, join my online virtual fitness group, right? And instead of saying, getting a challenge pack, you can say, you can group a workout program with Shakeology. It helps people understand, and it makes more sense to them. When you talk about your team on social media, the best way that you can explain talking about your team is talking about a group of women, because we're all a majority of women. There might be like 3 guys on Miss Fit Legion, I think, Mason being one of them. So if you're talking about your team, you can talk about a group of women that wanted change and wanted a positive community and found that and became coaches so that they could inspire others to do the same, right? Nobody knows what a team is. So make sure that when you're sharing that as well. All right, so another great leadership tip to really teach duplication, guys, is all about you. Again, track your objections and track your lessons, okay? And I want to share this because you need to get in the CEO mindset that when months are hard, or when people tell you no, or all of the crap that is definitely going to happen to you, instead of getting in the attitude of woe is me, or this isn't working, or this is hard, you have to look at this and be like, all right, how can I be solution driven here? How can I figure this out? How can I reroute and go another direction and find success with this objection? Not just for myself, but because eventually I'm going to have somebody on my team that faces this exact same objection, and I want to be able to tell them how I overcame it. So that's how I look at objections. Is I don't look at objections as, oh man, I suck. Like, this is so hard. My success couple numbers are really low. Like, I'm not doing a good job this month. I look at it as, okay, how can I reflect? What has my work ethic been this month? How did that conversation go? What could I do differently? How can I overcome this? How can I move forward, et cetera, et cetera. So get in that CEO mindset that everything that you do, every step that you take, everything that you write down, every post that you make, like, the more that you track, the more that you're ultimately creating for that coach, for somebody coming onto your team that is going to go through the exact same thing that you went through. Raise your hand if you've ever been a coach that messages your coach because you don't or everybody keeps telling you no. I'm the only one? Okay, here's some hands. Yeah. Guys, we all do it. Every single one of us. My first month as a coach, I'm like, why is everybody telling me no? What am I doing wrong? Like, this is crazy, right? I didn't know how to talk to people. I didn't know how to have those conversations because this is a foreign thing. We don't know how to do this. It's something that can be learned, though. And it's something that we have to remember that we have to overcome so that we can teach other people how to overcome it. It's not an opportunity for us to quit because it's hard. It's an opportunity for us to keep going and to show people that it can be done. All right. So recognize, right? Recognize. Recognize your coach's first sale, recognize their first post, recognize their first transformation, recognize the first time that they do something completely out of their comfort zone. Encourage them to do those things and then recognize them for it, because think about how amazing it feels and how amazing it felt when you started this business, when somebody told you that you did a good job or somebody noticed something about your social media or about your transformation or whatever it may be. Recognition is a huge part of this business. And I think the more that we continue, and we're all really good at this, but I think the more that we continue to lift each other up and be a team and keep encouraging that and creating a duplication recognition system, that is really going to be empowering for your coaches and for your team. All right, so write this down. Coaches do what you do, not what you say. They do what you do, not what you say. And it's kind of the same idea as what I always use, which is speed of the leader, speed of the pack. We cannot be managers in this business. That's not our job. Our job is to inspire by our action. You can only teach what you do yourself. And I promise you that if you are doing and showing others how to do, they're going to eventually show their coaches how to do, and their coaches how to do, and their coaches how to do. But if you're somebody that just is a learning butterfly and takes tons of notes and doesn't apply any of it, you are going to create a ripple effect of people that don't do anything in their business. We don't want that. We want people to have the success that they want to have with this business. And that's like a gut check, man. Like, sometimes we just have to do. You have to do. If you haven't sent the invites, if you haven't been in the inbox, if you're not staying consistent on social media, if you're not showing up to team calls, if you're not listening to national wake-up calls, if you're not reading personal development, if you're not committed to a program, if you're skipping your Shakeology, if we're not doing but we're telling people to do, you're not going to get anywhere in this business. Promise. So be a doer. Be a doer. Action, action, action. All right, so last thing that I want to share, I think we're getting there. Sorry, this is a lot of info tonight. Last thing that I want to share is tracking your business. I know we talked a little bit about that. Again, you have to believe in yourself enough to want to professionalize this, because you have to understand that people are going to take you as seriously as you take yourself. So if you treat this like this is just something where I'm just going to be on my phone for a couple minutes a day and message some people, and I might sign a few people up, and I might create a challenge group, that's what your business is going to be. But if you really want this to be something like unique and special, and maybe you're one of those coaches that like has a dream of like leaving your job and doing this full time, you have to professionalize your business. Tracking systems are huge. Okay, I use Asana. It's a tracking system online. And to be honest, I was really consistent with it for a while, and then I quit using it. And recently, I just went in and completely deleted everything that I had, and I created something that was simple for me. And I want to share it with you guys. So hold on a minute. Let me pull it up. I'm going to share a screen in a second. Okay. Maybe. Where is it? Oh, okay. Here it is. One second. Sorry, my computer's loading. All right. So I'm just going to give you an example. This was January, and I don't have all of my little boxes filled out because, like I said, I erased everything to start over, so because this makes more sense to me. All right, so can you guys see my screen? So Asana is a tracking system, and you can do whatever you want with it. And I'm not going to go into this because if you guys want to track your business and you go to YouTube, you can literally search Asana like tutorials, and there's going to be a ton of different Beachbody coaches. You can say Beachbody tutorial on Asana. There's going to be a bunch of different Beachbody coaches that share, how they use this. But I was trying to implement so many things that it was just overwhelming me and it wasn't working. So what I did is we work in this business by month, right? We set monthly goals. We have a certain amount of coaches that we want to inspire. We have a certain amount of challengers that we want to inspire. And for me, that just made more sense. So if you create an Asana account, this is free, by the way, what you can do is you have projects. You have projects that you create. So in my case, I created the project called January because I wanted to track my month of January. So when you click on projects, you guys, it gives you an opportunity to lay out as a list or lay out as a board. And I was laying out as lists, which was killing me. So now I'm laying out as a board. And this is what a board looks like, is what you see right here. So what I did was I created different tabs, okay? So I created different tabs. The first tab being the challengers that I signed up in January, okay? I want to track my customers. I want to know who I helped in January. Because when I go back in November and I need to, if I need to go back and see something about somebody, I know to find them in January. So these are the challengers that I helped in January. So let me click on Jacqueline. Jacqueline signed up. She enrolled on December 27th of 2016, and I know that because that's when I signed her up, and she got the All Access Challenge Pack. So I go in there, every time I kind of follow up with Jacqueline, I'm making little notes. So she's in her second month with Shakeology. She continued to stay a customer. I created little hashtags for her. So I know that she was in my health bet in January, and I know that she's now in my graduation group. So I called it grad group. So you can create these little hashtags to kind of give yourself little reminders of the process that this challenger has gone on with you. So one thing about the All Access Challenge Pack, guys, is it's like Shakeology, right? It's going to be a renewal. But instead of being a monthly renewal, it's a yearly renewal. So my planner doesn't go till next year. It quits in December. So for the people that I'm signing up now with All Access Challenge Packs, how am I going to remember to remind them in 1 year that they're going to have a renewal come out for $99? So what I did for the second tab was I made an all access renewal reminder category. So for everybody in January that signed up with the all access challenge pack, I made sure to add their name here. I click on their name and I go up to the calendar where I can set a date for myself to reach out to them. So because Shayna signed up in, hold on, let me look. Let's go. She's one of my challengers. Because Shayna signed up, she got the upgraded to all access on the 6th. So she got the all access pass on February 6th. So that means that I want to create a reminder on February 2nd. So on February 2nd, I'm going to get a reminder to reach out to her and let her know that on February 6th, her renewal is going to renew. Okay, so that's a cool thing that I did. The next thing is I have a certain amount of coaches that I try to inspire for that month. So of my challenge group, I had 3 amazing women, I think they're all on this call, they became coaches in January. So Lauren, Caitlin, and Heather all became coaches in January. So then I also want to take time to reflect, because I think it's important for us to reflect on all the things that go right, because I think it's more, we always focus on all the things that go wrong. So I'm going to take the time to every single month talk about the things that, went well for me in that month, personal milestones. And then last but not least, I really like to keep track of my coaches at Hit Success Club. So those are like my 5 little tabs. And I did it again for February. I'm doing it again for March. And I'm going month by month by month. And it's just like a simplified tracking system that's really going to help me be able to look at this as a business, to know that I can go back. I have the dates of the renewals. I'm organized, right? You can sync Asana to your phone. So you can also have it like a desktop version, but you can have a free app on your phone. So reminders can even come to your phone instead of just coming online. Yes, exactly. I know. So like I said, I just go by month. Do you have to use Asana? No, there's tons of organizational methods that you can use. I'm a pen and paper girl, but I have to be realistic that this is a really easy way for me to be, organized. Okay. So I wanted to share that with you because organization is huge. Tracking your business is huge. It's also going to show you what you did in that month. So if you go back into your Asana account on April 1st and realize that you have nothing to write down in March, that's a reflection of your work ethic for that month. And then you know what? That reminds me of my vision. Is what I did in March going to get me closer to that thing that I read you on paper a little bit ago? So it all kind of goes hand in hand. All right, so finishing up. Let me just add this too. Like, I understand, guys, we all have crazy lives, busy lives, and there's some people that might be on this call saying, like, guys, like, I work full time, like, I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to be this organized or to do all of these things. Listen, I understand that you don't have the time to be as dedicated 100% to this, like all day, every day, like I am. But what I can say, and I want to share this perspective with you, is that the time that you do have, okay, it can be intentional. It can be intentional. It can be meaningful. It can be professional, and it can get you one step closer to that vision and that why on your paper. So maybe, if you're somebody with limited time, it's going to take you the first week of your business hours to kind of just get organized, right? To kind of get it, all your ducks in a row. But once that stuff's created and made, it's going to make your life so much easier. Because to be organized, to have those systems in place, to know what you need to do every day, you're going to get done quicker because you're going to be more productive, which makes our part-time working coaches that much more efficient with their time. All right, so last thing, guys, last thing that I want to say. And I want you to remember this, write this down. Your greatest asset is that you are different. Your greatest asset is that you are different. And where you lack in skill, you can make up in work ethic and you can learn. So for the coaches, and I was one of them, I threw this out all the time. I said, I'm not tech savvy. Guess what? Learn. For the coaches that say, I don't know how to make a cover on Facebook, a photo cover on Facebook. Guess what? Learn. If, I don't know how to host a challenge group. Learn. That's what's cool about human beings and us, is we have this amazing thing called Google and YouTube, and we can literally say how to use PicMonkey to create a cool Facebook banner, how to use Asana as a team Beachbody coach, how to download an app, right? If depending on what your weaknesses is, we have the opportunity to learn, to grow, and to really figure this out. So don't use your weaknesses as an excuse for why you can't be successful in this business. Use it as an opportunity to say, all right, I have no freaking idea how to do this, so I'm going to put this on my to-do list to figure it out. So that means asking your resources, right? Asking your teammates, what did they use? How did they come up with this? And then using Google, using YouTube, and using the Beachbody Coach Online Office, figuring it out, whatever you need. Secondly, remembering, guys, your greatest asset is that you are different. This is not about me being like you and you being like me or the next person. This is about you being individually you, being completely uniquely made, having a story that nobody else has. And the more real, vulnerable, and raw that you can get in this business, and the more freaking excited and passionate you can be about your vision and where you're going, That is what's going to separate you from everybody else. But if we stay in the mode of not taking this seriously and not treating this like $1 million business, it's not going to reward us the way that we want it to reward us. The more seriously we take our business, the more seriously this business will be for us. That's what separates good coaches from great coaches, because great coaches understand this concept. Great coaches create that tracking system, create those documents, create and professionalize things so that they can duplicate that when they bring somebody into this business and teach them how to do it too. That's what we want. That's what's going to create massive success. That's what's going to make the most impact on lives. We don't want a bunch of coaches coming in here and not seeing success. We don't want a bunch of coaches quitting. We want a bunch of coaches that we can teach how to be independent and strong and capable women that have the vision and passion to change their lives and to change somebody else's life. And we should take so much pride in that, because this is a freaking awesome thing that we get to do. And then every Sunday I get to like hang out with you guys. Like, that's even cooler, right? So, and we can even bring wine and we can be in our PJs. Like, this can be a full-time job if you want it to be that. Whatever you want it to be, it's capable of achieving. You just have to take it seriously to do so. So I hope this was helpful. Do you guys have any questions? Anything you want to add? Any comments? Okay, good. Great. All right, guys. Well, sorry this was a little bit longer. I always try to keep it around 30 minutes or less. So thanks for hanging out with me. You guys have a wonderful evening. I'll post this recording tomorrow. So talk to you guys soon. Thanks for coming. Bye.